got a big lineup here in the studio this morning with John Stanberry, our regular, and Franklin and Chancey. But we've got Jeff Yarborough and Jack Burke in the studio this morning. We're going to try to have a little quick debate here this morning and let these guys talk about their race. You guys are running for what race is it?
5th District County Commission.
5th District. All right, I'll give you both a chance to talk. Anyway, Jack, I'll go ahead and open up with you and let you have a couple of minutes just to tell who you are, where you're from, and whatever you want to say. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that.
All right. Well, I appreciate, first of all, the opportunity to be here, and Jeff for being here as well. My name is Jack Burke. I am your candidate for 5th District County Commissioner here in Bradley County. Lifelong resident of Bradley County for the past 34 years. I've lived in and around the 5th District the entire time. I'm a graduate of Bradley Central High School, graduated there with honors. From there, I attended Cleveland State Community College and Middle Tennessee State University. I have my bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration, minors in psychology and sociology. Worked 8 years for the Bradley County Sheriff's Department. Under Sheriff Tim Gobble, I served as the accreditation manager for the jail. I also served as the interim director for the SPCA at its inception, and I currently serve on the board of directors as their treasurer currently.
All right. Welcome to the studio this morning. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Now, Jeff Yarborough, we'll let you tell a little bit about yourself and where you're going here.
Name's Jeff Yarborough. I am your 5th District County Commissioner. I've been your commissioner for 12 years. Lifelong resident of Bradley County, lifelong resident minus about a year of the 5th District, born and raised on the south side of town, old boys club boy, community center swimmer. I've got 2 beautiful daughters, ages 15 and 9, that are my first and foremost priority. I've got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice as well. About completed my master's in public administration. Should be completing that in June of 2015. Have, while serving on the county commission, 7 years of that's been vice chairman. Served as chairman of education, chairman of law enforcement, chairman of juvenile. Have served on the finance committee in the 5th District. Randy King and I formulated the Citizens Action Group over in the Blythe Avenue area, where we implemented the Yard of the Month, where each month we go around and find the best yard in that area. They'd have a sign, Beatty Hardware, Beatty Feed and Seed would give them a $25 donation. At the time, Texaco Tom, now Fuel Mart Tom, would give a $25 gift card for gas over there. Continue, have worked for the district, will continue. I've said before and say again, my motto is the 5th District is me and I'm the 5th District. So that's who I am.
All right. Well, welcome both of you to the studio this morning. Now then, Franklin, John, I'm going to let each of you ask a question, and then we'll give each candidate a little time to respond, to probably a couple of minutes to respond to it. Go ahead, Franklin, you're first.
All right. Well, over the last couple of years, I think most people in the community have been concerned about the way in which the county commission and the city council interact with each other. I'd like to hear what each candidate has to say in terms of how they see the role of those 2 bodies working together and what can be done to create more cooperation between the parties.
Jeff, I'm going to let you go first on this one since Jack went first on the opening.
Okay, that's fine. Franklin, excellent question. As some may or may not realize, as a county commissioner, you're entail part of the city. Most of the commission districts have part of the city. 80% of my district is city. And in my district, in order to get anything done, you have to have a very cooperative spirit with the city council. I have worked diligently with Richard Banks, George Poe, Dale Hughes, Avery Johnson, Bill Estes, Charlie McKenzie, all the current council members, former council members, Bambi Hines, have had a cooperative spirit. If you remember, I was really an advocate for consolidation of the fire departments. I was an opponent of going on our own with an animal shelter. I don't believe in duplicating services. I don't believe that that you need to do that. I believe that just makes bigger government. So I wasn't in support of that. But I believe one thing we can do is we used to have quarterly meetings with the city council, and we sit down and discuss issues, and actually not just go in and hug and kiss and kumbaya, but discuss and talk about the true issues that are going on. If there's problems between the city and the county, then you need to talk about them and work together. But we're elected not to do our own personal what we want to do personally and what we think personally. We're elected to represent our district and our community, and when 80% of your district's city, you've got to get along with your city council members.
Okay. Jack Burke?
A lot of what Jeff said is correct. A great deal of our district falls within the city limits, so we do have to find a common ground that we can work upon with the city councils and things like that. The fact that the two entities in government can't get along is why people have lost faith in the ability of government to function to begin with. We have to be able to put our egos aside and politics aside so that we can find those common grounds in which we can work together. We do have to come to a sit down and get these issues worked out if we're going to move forward in Bradley County as we grow and to prosper. If we don't, we're going to strangle this community of services and an efficient form of government.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe Washington is why people lost faith in government. Local government is your final stand. Local government is the last ditch faith people have in government, and so that's the city and the county working together and coming together on the issues is the big thing, because they're tired of such a split in Washington and not getting anything done. Locally is where they feel like things need to go.
All right, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah. Again, Washington is a place where, prime example of, entities of government not getting along. But if we can't take care of government in our own backyard, then how can we have faith in government in Washington? If we're at odds with the city council over liquor taxes and the distributions of that for the schools and things like that. If we can't keep our own house clean here locally, people that don't have faith in their local government, it's hard for that to transcend to the national or state level. So it's important that we do things here in the community that are, conducive to an efficient form of government for taxpayers and citizens.
All right, thank you. John Stanberry, I'll let you ask the next question.
Well, since we're talking about efficiency in government, we've talked about this before, I'd ask each of them how they feel about zero-based budgeting, actually looking at a budget and saying we did that last year, but maybe it doesn't work this year. Jack, I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Zero-based budgeting is it's not a new concept. On the surface, it sounds great, it's an efficient way of looking at our resources and things. It was actually the state of Georgia implemented it in the 1970s under Democrat Governor Jimmy Carter at the time, and then he took it to the national level as he was elected president. What they did find was that zero-based budgeting is a very time-consuming effort. Paperwork increased and things like that, but we have to, most agencies in government found that it was so difficult that they had to hire outside private agencies to even handle it. Just most recently, the state of Oklahoma implemented zero-based budgeting in their state. What they found was also the difficulty of implementing such a technique, that they rotate departments in and out of the zero-based budgeting process every 8 years. So 2 departments may be in the zero-based budgeting for the 8 years, that they would come out, 2 more would go in and be required to do zero-based budgeting. I'm open to looking at the idea of zero-based budgeting if that is going to be an efficient, cost-effective way to save taxpayers money. Otherwise, if everybody's not on board with doing it properly, since it does require a lot of time from these departments, then it would just be a mere symbolism of budgeting and not an actual technique. So I'm not completely opposed if it is going to be an efficient way.
All right. Jeff Yarber?
Zero-based budgeting is a good idea. I'm not concerned about what's going on in Montana or what happened in Georgia in the 70s. I'm more concerned about what's going on in Bradley County today. And as we talk about tightening the budget, Bradley County, as 12 years on the commission, there's not been a tax increase, a theoretical tax increase. I've not voted for any tax increase, even when it's under the guise of restructuring the tax rate to bring in where the property levels have gone down. But as far as zero-based budgeting goes, you have to have everybody on board. The elected officials who hold office have to be on board. If they're on board, then it's going to take out a big chunk of it. It is a time-consuming position, but in county government, as an elected official, we work for the taxpayers, so no matter how much time it takes, you don't get paid. You're not here to make money, so however much time it takes, you do what's best for the county, for the county and the taxpayers. If you keep in mind, I'll go back to something I proposed during redistricting, and that was to do away with 5 commission seats. If you remember, I went to go to 9, in saving money for the taxpayers, going to 9 districts with 9 seats, and that would say, you do away with 5 positions, which would streamline the county commission more so, in my opinion, and would have saved around $100,000.
Okay. Excuse me. Go ahead, Franklin.
We were talking a moment ago about the relationship between the county commission and the city council. A lot of people wonder about the relationship between the county commission and the county school board. Sometimes that has appeared to be adversarial. What can be done to improve the way those two bodies work together?
Jeff Yarborough, I'll let you go first.
Franklin, if you want to talk about adversarial between the county commission and the school board, it's like a playground today compared to what it was when I first came on the commission, when Steve Bivens and my good friend Cheryl Graham and Walter Presswood and Sandy Wallace were on there with Bob Taylor as director. That was when it was truly a confrontational mentality. The school board and the county commission get along well right now. The school board and county commission probably get along as well as the county commission and the county commission get along right now. But there again, when you're talking about how you get along with each other, it's all about communication. It's about talking and being open. It's about the meetings. We've gotten away from sitting down and having those quarterly meetings with each other and even breaking bread and discussing issues. That's where, things get done. We forget, you have to give the school board the respect the school board has. Their job is simply to do what's best for schools. As a county commissioner, where sometimes you get sideways as with any department, we have to look at what's best for the county overall. And that's not always what the school board wants. But as a whole, I believe the working relationship today has improved, and we've built bridges and come together and communicate as good now. We've even, if you remember just a few years back, the city school board came down and started sitting with the county commission because they were at odds with the city council. So they started coming into meetings and sitting down with the county commission. So I think other than the rift we've had with the city council, the time I've came on, and the bridges we've built with all the different governing bodies is immaculate compared to what it was.
Okay, Jack.
While the relationship between the county commission and the school board may be at a better state than it was from previous years, there's always room for improvement with relationships between government and the transparency of the school board and things like that. It's going to come down to certain individuals and politics being set aside, egos being set aside, so that two entities can come together and work together for the betterment of the community. Education is one of the foundations of every community. It's a gateway to many opportunities for citizens in Bradley County and across the land. So, just being able to put those things aside and being able to establish a working relationships is very important.
All right. John, I'll let you ask another question.
Well, I'll just be simplistic. How do y'all feel about a tax increase?
The tax increase, well, I think Jeff could probably agree that we have probably the poorest district, or if one of the poorest districts in Bradley County. So to go straight to asking for a tax increase would be almost ludicrous, in my opinion. I am strongly for looking for any ways that we can look at the budget and cut down our costs, and hold departments accountable for the spending. We need to prepare Bradley County for bringing in new businesses or capitalizing on tourism opportunities and things like that, so we can offset any tax increases that we need to do. Tax increase would be the absolute last thing that I would look at to implement in Bradley County.
All right, Jeff.
Well, as I've said, I've been on the commission for 12 years. I'm not one of those never say never kind of guys, but to date, I've never supported a tax increase. We did send the wheel tax to the referendum to be voted on, which I got, kind of handed as if it were mine, which it weren't. It was the school board asked for it, and education committee brought it to the commission to do what was the right thing to do, which was put it forward to the residents. I would keep in mind, as we campaign, when we campaign and you campaign on you support everything. You need more firefighters, if you need more police officers, if you want higher pay for county employees, you want better roads. Those type of things come with a price tag. I've been in office long enough to understand that everything that sounds good on the front end, but on the back end, it comes with a price tag. You got to figure out how to pay for it. And what I would ask is, if you're going to cut a budget, without doing zero-based budgeting, show me which budget you're going to cut. Show me who it is that's overusing their money, because sometimes when we campaign on that and we need to cut budgets, if you'll show me which one it is, and I'd be glad to look at it.
All right, thank you. Franklin, I'll let you ask a question.
All right. One of the things that we talk about on this show locally a lot is the need for planning for the future. Can each of you tell us what you think the most important priorities for the next 10 years for Bradley County are going to be? And where would you focus your efforts as it relates to those priorities?
So 10-year plan. Jack Burke.
I think we got to start focusing on our infrastructure for Bradley County. It's no secret that Bradley County is growing. In order for it to grow, in order for it to attract new businesses, we have to have a proper infrastructure. It's been known in the past that companies have bypassed us because we don't have an adequate road for their plant or their manufacturer that they're building here, or we don't have enough schools at some points. We don't have enough this and that. So if we don't have a proper structure to support these industries that want to come in here, I think that's key to growth. When Volkswagen was going to be building in Chattanooga, we lollygagged with the Exit 20. I think now that we're behind. It's no coincidence that Exit 20 conveniently suddenly gets a lot of attention when a pilot gets put down on that exit. Suddenly, that's when we want to build things. We're already behind in that aspect. So without that infrastructure, which is vital to resources and economic growth in this county, we're going to strangle ourselves.
All right, Jeff Yarborough.
Well, first off, no company in the 12 years I've been here has bypassed us because we have a lack of schools or because we have a lack of roads. We were bypassed because we didn't have shovel-ready sites. And as far as Exit 20 goes, that's federally and state funded. In building that, we do now have put in for the business part to go down there, and they are slowly but surely bringing the interchanges in. If on the federal level they stop saying they're out of money and put more money back into the road situation, that will be funded. I don't believe that anything's been done there just because of a pilot station. I don't think a gas station dictates what may or may not go in at Exit 20. Now, if you come on down a little bit farther, since I've been in office, many of you remember the late, great Courtney McGrady, who was instrumental in bringing Walmart in and bringing the Walmart Plaza in and bringing KFC to that side of town. We've now got the Bank of Cleveland. We've got Wendy's. We've got, Taco Bell's came in. There's just more and more going on. So there is a lot of things going on the south side of town, as you see, from where it was 12 years ago to date. I don't take credit for that, but it's happened under my tenure while I've been in office.
Well, Jack, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I agree. There is a lot of things that are going on the south end of town. Businesses are closing. Businesses are leaving that district. Lots are vacant. Abandoned buildings are left standing. Children are afraid to play in their own yards by their parents because there's buildings surrounding them that are about to collapse. There's flooding issues that need to be addressed. There's grocery stores that have closed. There's communities that do not have access to fresh groceries or food. There's a poor public transportation system going on in the south end of town. That district's been overlooked by government. I'm not going to blame Jeff Yarborough all alone. It's a lack of focus from the whole county. The boundaries of Bradley County do not stop at Inman Street, but the government seems to think that it does. We need to put focus back on the south end of town.
Okay. Jeff, I'm going to let you respond back to that.
Until Benchmark bought the plaza up there across the street from Church of God, it was vacant. I believe you have some places vacant here. There are vacant places on the south end of town. What I will tell you is, rather than walk around with a video recorder and video things, my opponent decided, and he formed his Facebook page in 2011, March 10th, 2011, and decided that's when he was going to run for office. And since then, hasn't made one phone call to me to serve on any committee or with any issue that was out there. 3 doors down from him is one of the worst flooding problems in the 5th District. He's not attended one meeting in response to the flooding issues that I've been working on down there. So he can, there's a lot of things going on. Whirlpool left. The city promised, as I fought that issue, the city promised that they're going to do a revitalization down there. 80% of that district, as we said earlier, is in the city. So you've got to work with the city council to get anything done over there. The 20% that's in the county, there's one issue right now that I'm working on that's in the county. Every other issue I'm working on is in the city. So when you sit there and say all these things are happening, don't walk around with a video recorder. Get your hands dirty and do something about it.
All right. I think they're...
I would like to interject something.
Okay.
And I want to correct something. I'm not picking on Mr. Burke, but the reason Exit 20 didn't get any attention is because the Democrats held control of the legislature for 142 years. And East Tennessee, being a strong Republican district, got no funds. Jimmy Nafee and Ned Ray McWhirter killed that project over and over and over again. You can ask Dwayne Bunch about it. We weren't getting any money there. So the fact that we're getting money there is not because Pilot Oil opened up a gas station there. We're getting it because Republicans, after 142 years, took control of the legislature, and federal and state highway funds are finally being given out based on actual need and not to reward Democratic buddies.
Franklin, I'll let you respond to that.
Well, I certainly have a different perspective than that.
Can you explain why they didn't fund it?
Yeah, I can.
Welcome to Backfire.
Yeah, I can. When all of our elected representatives bent over backwards to try to embarrass, criticize,
So in other words, they
and
did
slander.
use state funds
No.
instead of to benefit the taxpayer. They used it to punish their enemies. Thanks for admitting it,
No.
Franklin.
Hey, we got 5 more minutes here.
The governor came here and announced different things that he was doing in Bradley County, and our representatives skewered him for
And
doing
so
it.
they punished. So he punished us.
No.
He punished us
Yep.
to get his enemy. Thanks
Okay,
for
guys,
admitting it.
okay. We're getting away from why we're here. Jack Burke, Jeff Yarborough here from doing their thing this morning, running for office, and I'm going to give each of you 2 minutes each to respond, and give me some last quotes going out, and then I'll let each of you have one shot back at each other after you do your 2-minute response, okay? And then we're going to wind this up for this half of the show.
I'm running for county commissioner because I believe that it's time for responsible leadership in the 5th District. There's many issues that have been left unresolved in the 5th District. There's issues that have been forgotten about, issues that have left people feeling hopeless in that district. I've made it the purpose of this campaign to try to bring about some new ideas and put a new perspective on those things. They're solving problems. I've got out and I've walked long hours, knocked on many doors to listen to a lot of concerns of everyone in the district, not just Democrats, but also Republicans. For me, this is not about party. It's about individuals that are willing to take on the responsibility to work for their community and represent their community. There's hardworking people in that district that's watched while businesses closed and manufacturers left behind abandoned buildings and things like that have left eyesores, property devaluing, and crime has risen in that neighborhood. People struggle every day in that neighborhood. It's time for different types of leadership, not one full of empty promises and lies, but one that's filled with purpose and action. It's time that the 5th District gets that responsible leadership, willing to listen to concerns of the citizens. 30-year problems, over 50 years, combination of, opportunity of the current representation to fix these opportunities that have gone unfixed. So I would ask people that they vote for a new set of ideas and a new vision for that. Okay. And remember, you get 2 votes, and I would appreciate to be at least one of those votes.
All right, thank you. All right, Jeff, go ahead.
First off, I'd like to thank Jack for being here. I appreciate anybody who takes the time and effort to put their name on the ballot and run for office. Jack said, my opponent said it good. He said there's a lot of issues there are. When I took office, there were a lot of issues. The graveyard was overran. What I did, while Richard Banks and I fought Joe V. Williams to make sure that they got taken care of, I didn't whine about it. I didn't cry about it. I went there and got a lawnmower, went there and started mowing the graveyard. Archer Lane had houses that were abandoned. We got them taken down, torn down, and taken care of. Blythe Avenue, we formed a citizens action group. David Conley, the old shotgun houses over there, talking about revitalization. If you look right there where the old coke plant was, where David Conley's place is now, he's bought all those houses and revitalized all those houses and taken what was a rundown community and built it up. The issue in our district isn't necessarily that people don't care. People do care. And you can sit there and call me a liar all you want to, but one thing that I've been known for as my 12 years, 10 years, I shoot straight. I call it like I said. That's why I get calls every day. That's why people will tell you, if you're going to go up against me, make sure you got your facts straight, which many of your facts aren't straight. And I will give my opponent credit for this right here. He's a great armchair quarterback. He goes around, he videotapes, and he complains. While he's doing that, I've been out working. I've been out rolling my sleeves up, getting my hands dirty. I've been out, working on the issues. I didn't just start 3 months ago. I didn't just, when I decided that there's time to run, I didn't do it then. I've been doing it for 12 years now. 50 years of leadership. My counterpart, Bill Ledford, who's going to be highly missed on the commission, served 42 years. That's the constituents, the voters kept re-electing him. It's always interesting to me when the Democrats in the district will say, or running for office will say, party doesn't matter, but you still put that D by your name. I'm a Republican. I'm the Republican candidate, and I'm running for the office as a Republican candidate, and I'm going to do what I continue doing. I'm going to win this race. When I win, if Jack wants to serve on a committee, I'll put him on a committee he wants to serve on. I'll let him serve.
Okay.
But from there, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done.
All right. We're about to wind it up. I want to ask one more thing of both of you, and I'll let you respond to one question from me. We've got the SPCA shelter that's hitting the headlines again right now with the county. And, when you came in, you said, Jack, you've been involved in the setup or startup of that thing, I believe, if I heard you right. I just want to know, what do you think the solution is to fix it? And I'll ask both of you the same question. I'll let you go first, Jack.
I wasn't involved in the activist group that got the SPCA created. I came on board after the fact that it was created as the treasurer. There's a lot of infighting and bickering. There's a lot of growing pains, as Commissioner Hall has noted on previous occasions. That's the key, is getting those groups to work together and focus on the issue of actually getting those animals out of there. A lot of things look good on paper. A lot of things are shoot from the hip. The SPCA may be one of those things. Is there a quick, easy fix? I'm not sure there is. $80,000 is the bare minimum budget that they requested. The county commission thought that was good enough to run a county shelter. That's what we're really dealing with. It's proven to be a difficult, arduous task that proves, again, that things on paper aren't always what they seem.
Okay. All right, Jeff, go ahead real quick.
First and foremost, it was a bad idea. It was a knee-jerk reaction. The county commission got angry with the city and broke away. I'm not for duplicating any services. This is creating more government duplicating services. They tried to throw it together in a few months. And since its inception, everything's gone wrong. It's been imploding, and some commissioners have been turning a blind eye to it and then trying to say everything's okay. Everything's not okay. What needs to happen, the fix is to go back to the city council, ask for another contract with the city council, start from there. You know what? It's going to cost us more than the $80,000, but it's going to cost us less than what this quagmire we're in right now is going to cost us. If they want to break off on their own, I'll never support duplicating services, but that's the route they want to go. Actually put planning into it. I've always said an old football analogy is planning and execution. And when you make a mistake and know you've made a mistake, go back up and punt and go and redo it and do it the right way.
All right, thank you, Jim. I want to thank both of you for coming into the studio this morning. Thank you for running. I want to respond to the SPCA, and I want to respond to the article I read in Sunday's newspaper about this. This was a ramping, the front page, quarter of the page, and then goes into page 9, about 3/4 of a page, of the person who running the thing just ramping and carrying on and carrying on. That tells me this person has no ability to run a business. Now, I think it was left up to someone who loves animals, and the animal lover can't run a business. Not I won't say all of them can't, but I think that the wrong person was picked to manage this shelter. And I'm getting that opinion just from reading the article and the things that were said. I mean, there was no business plan. It's not being watched. Everything they talked about was over budget, over budget, over budget. There was, it's just pretty obvious from reading the article that it's just totally mismanaged.
I don't think it's the person running the shelter. I think she cares and trying to. I think it's some people on the board that keep hijacking it. I think Bobby Anderson has her heart in the right place. I think some members on the board are the ones that, if things don't go their way.
Well, I guess I'm trying to say, heart and loving dogs and animals is not going to get this done. You've got to come up with a business plan, and you got to run it that way.
Well, the county commission should have had the foresight to see there was a lack of business plan to start with when they voted on it, if that's what they felt. Like Jeff said, Bobby Anderson has worked very, very hard over there at that shelter to keep it running with the bare minimum budget that they have. There are groups that are involved in that have made attempts to hijack that situation and made it very difficult for the SBCA to function at full capacity.
Can I ask one quick question, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but the $80,000, how long was that for?
That's a year.
Yeah, a year.
How long have they had it?
They've been in operation a little less than 6 months.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And that's the thing. But keep in mind, three county commissioners did have the foresight to see it wasn't going to work. That was myself, Brian Smith, and Bill Winters. We voted against this. Brian Smith and I really fought hard against this. So we did have the foresight. And I'm not going to go back now and say I told you so, but I told you so.
Well, and maybe the city wasn't so far off. And maybe they ought to look at reworking this thing together.
We ought to point out that there is a third candidate in this race, Bobby Goins. He was extended an invitation to appear today and was unable to for I don't know what. He's got family
issues.
But he was invited, and we don't want the public to think that he wasn't.
Okay. Well, listen, Jack Burke, thank you for coming in this morning.
I appreciate it.
Really wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
Jeff, good to see you again, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back, and we've got some exciting things coming up for the second half.
You're listening to Backfire with Steve Hickson.